Hi there. Last week, $1 trillion in software stock evaporated. Not over a quarter, not over a month, in a week. A trader at Jefferies called it the SaaSpocalypse. He said the trading floor was pure get me out selling. HubSpot down 39% this year, Figma down 40%, Atlassian down 35%, ServiceNow, Salesforce, Thomson Reuters, all cratering. And the trigger? Anthropic released a set of plugins for its Claude AI that can do legal analysis, financial reviews, marketing strategy, tasks that knowledge workers, lawyers, analysts, marketers get paid six figures to perform. And Wall Street looked at that announcement and asked, wait, if an AI tool can do what these software companies help people do, why do we need the software companies? $1 trillion disappeared while people tried to answer that question. Now, here's what I want you to notice. An investment officer at Ocean Park Asset Management named James St. Aubin said something on Wednesday that stopped me cold. He said, "My biggest fear is that this is a canary in a coal mine for the labor market." A canary in a coal mine. He's describing this week's stock sell-off as an early warning. I have to tell you, I've spent 36 years in manufacturing, and I've watched this movie before. I know how it ends. And I can tell you, this isn't a canary in a coal mine. This is the coal mine itself on fire, with people still inside arguing about whether canaries are reliable indicators. You see, manufacturing ran this experiment. Starting in the 1980s, American manufacturers decided that workers were costs to be minimized, not assets to be developed. They invested $500 billion in automation technology to replace the one thing they couldn't afford to lose: the intelligence of their frontline workforce. The result? A 90% automation failure rate, 6.6 million manufacturing jobs destroyed. Communities like Flint and Lordstown hollowed out. And the capabilities that were supposed to be replaced by machines, gone. Permanently. Because once you fire the people who carry the knowledge does not come back when you rehire. That's not speculation, that's the data, 40 years of it. And now, knowledge workers are watching the same pattern unfold in their industries, compressed from decades into months. So here's what the stock market is actually telling us, if we listen carefully. The companies that lost the most value this week, HubSpot, Figma, Atlassian, Thomson Reuters, are companies that help knowledge workers do their job. They make tools for project management, design, legal research, customer relationship management. And these are the tools that amplify human intelligence in white-collar work. The market is saying if AI can do those tasks directly, the tools that helped humans do those tasks are maybe worth less. But here's the question nobody on Wall Street is asking. What happens to the humans who use those tools? Manufacturing already answered that question. When you deploy automation to replace workers, instead of amplifying their intelligence, you don't get efficiency, you get a catastrophe with a 15-year lag. 95% of enterprise AI pilots fail to generate meaningful ROI. MIT documented that last year. 80 to 85% of generative AI deployments fail to meet their desired return on investment. NTT data documented that 42% of companies abandoned most of their AI initiatives in 2025. That's up from 17% in 2024. These aren't my numbers, these are AI industry's own numbers. The pattern is identical to what manufacturing experienced. Deploy the technology to replace people. Watch the technology fail because the people's intelligence was never captured in the first place. Lose both the technology investment and the human capability. What makes this week different, what makes it genuinely terrifying, is the speed. Manufacturing lesson took 40 years to learn. The AI sell-off compressed that lesson into 40 hours. Here's the thing Wall Street doesn't understand yet, but manufacturers already know. The $1 trillion that disappeared this week is not the real loss. The real loss is happening in organizations right now, quietly, invisibly, as companies suppress the intelligence of workers who could be solving the very problems AI is being purchased to address. Stanford researchers released a paper last year called Canaries in a Coal Mine. Using ADP payroll data for millions of workers, they found that employment for software developers aged 22 to 25 declined by 20% after the release of AI tools. 20%. Not in factories, in offices. But here's the finding that matters most. Employment declined in occupations where AI automates first. In occupations where AI augments work, amplifies human intelligence rather than replacing it, employment actually grew. Deploy, not replace. That's the binary choice. And manufacturing learned this the hard way. The companies that deployed worker intelligence, Honda, Toyota, the Royal Enfield I helped turn around, created more value than the companies that replaced workers with machines. 20-fold profit growth at Royal Enfield. J.D. Power Gold at Lansing Grand River. These weren't technology victories. These were intelligence deployment victories. The $1 trillion sell-off in manufacturing is manufacturing's gift to the knowledge economy. It's us saying, we ran this experiment. We know the answer. And we're trying to tell you before you repeat our mistake at 10 times the speed and 100 times the scale. The intelligence you need is already in the building, already on the payroll, already paid for. The question is whether you'll deploy it or watch another trillion disappear while you decide.